Hi, so today we're going to go over two different things. One is how to change your current password on the system, and the other thing is how to create custom usernames. So, what we're going to do is open up our program, the IVMS-4200, and once that loads up, you're going to select Device Management, either up here or through Control Panel, and go down to Device Management. You're going to select the camera system in your list and make sure you're on the Devices tab up here, the one that you want to create these users on. So once you have that selected, click Remote Configuration. Right, wait for this to load up. And we're going to go to Users here on the left-hand column, and we're going to select the account first that you'd like to make a password change on. So first we're going to go over that, and then next we'll go over how to make a user. So if I want to change the admin password here, I click on admin, I select modify. I'm going to type in my old password. I'm going to type in now in the password field my new password that I'd like to use, and I'm going to type it in on the confirm password field as well. So you have to type that new password twice. You're going to go ahead and hit save. Right, it's going to close out that window, and then what you'll need to do on your screen back here, you'll want to double click on your camera system, and right here in the password field you're going to delete out whatever was in there and type in your new password and hit modify. Right, we want to make sure net status goes green. That means it was able to reconnect, and now you've successfully changed your password. All right, and just keep in mind that you'll have to change this password now on any other phones, iPads, tablets, other computers, right? Anyone who was connecting with this user account, you'll need to go to their device and put in that new password that you created. All right, and that's a password change. So now to create a brand new user, what you'll do is select Remote Configuration again. You'll go to User. All right, and you'll click the Add button. Now, what you can do is you'll type in a username. I'm just going to make mine test. You'll have to always enter your admin password on the system when you want to create a user, and then you'll make a password for your user. And keep in mind that passwords must be at least 8 characters long and be a mix of letters and numbers. So I'm going to make a password for my test user. All right, and you'll see here on the left-hand column, you have a whole bunch of different options you can select for a user as far as what they should and should not be able to do. So I'll give you an example of a basic user. So if you just want to create a user that won't be able to change any settings on your camera system, won't be able to delete the video or format the hard drives, right? Basically someone who will have the capability to watch live cameras, play them back, save some clips, and that's the extent of what they can do. All right. What you'll want to do is, and PTZ control, just so you see, is if you have a pan tilt zoom camera, the ones you can move around in real time and zoom in and out, that's what that control is referring to. So I'm going to remove that, but you could leave that enabled if you have one and want someone to be able to control it. So I'm going to uncheck that. I'll leave local manual recording checked, which is to save a clip at the camera system. We'll leave playback checked. I'm going to remove the log search. A limited user really doesn't need that. I'm going to keep video export, which is saving a clip. Remote live view we're going to leave checked, right, because that will let people see the cameras from off-site. We're going to remove this remote voice talking. We'll remove again the remote PTZ control. We'll leave remote manual recording. Remote playback can stay checked, and we'll remove log search. All right, so we'll go over this one more time. With these options here, local manual, local playback, local video, remote live view, remote manual, remote playback, this is an example of a basic user that can't change any settings. All right, and we could go ahead and click save, and then our user will be created. But there's one other thing to note here. Let's say you want to restrict a user even further. For instance, let's say a particular user um, should only have access to certain cameras. All right. Um, so actually, we can see here that none of the cameras here for remote live view are actually checked, which means that your user wouldn't be able to view any cameras. So let's say we want them to view every camera except one of them. Maybe our first camera is a cash room, or maybe something, the owner's office, right? Maybe something the user has no business looking at. So let's say that's our first camera. What you can do is go ahead and uncheck your camera 1, right? Now this particular user would have access to all the cameras except for number 1. Right? And what you'll most likely want to do is go to all these options here, remote playback, and uncheck camera 1, manual recording. Basically, click on each of these and make sure camera 1 is unchecked, because you don't want to run into the situation where your user can't live view something, but they can go in the playback and view it recorded videos from that camera, right? So you want to uncheck it on all these different options that we have checked. So at this point, we can go ahead and click Save. Okay, it says Save down here. We see Test is up here, so our user has been created. And then the last step after we exit out of that window is just to double click on the entry here in our device page, right? And in the username field, delete out whatever you have there and put that new user you created, and then put in that user's password and hit modify, right? And it goes green, and now we have our limited user created on here. And again, you'll have to do this on the user's cell phone, right? In their iPad, whatever device they're using, you'll only want to give them their username and their password. And that's how to create a user.